What have Massive Attack, Portishead and Tricky got in common? The answer is Bristol. The city has a legendary music heritage, but could it be under threat? BBC radio presenter and avid gig goer Harriet Robinson is on the case.
This is what it's all about, a new band in a small venue. This is where music starts. Bristol's grassroots venues are a vital part of the local music scene and of the city's economy. But venues are closing at an alarming rate and new housing developments are being blamed.
It's almost getting to the point where name a Bristol venue that doesn't have development next door to it.
Or maybe the Bristol music scene isn't all that and never has been.
That's just all hype. Bristol ain't this magical musical place. If Bristol was so good, I would have got my record deal there, I'd still be living there.
This is Thekla, moored up in the centre of Bristol. Once a cargo ship, it's been a theatre, a nightclub, and for the last 11 years, a music venue, squeezing in 400 people on a good night. Well, tonight's headliner is a band called Witt Rebels. They've come here all the way from Birmingham, but it sounds like the support act's already started, so I'm going to pop inside and see if I can take a listen. Weekday gigs don't always draw in big crowds, but I'm impressed by how far some fans have travelled. Where have you guys come from today?
Swansea.
Okay, so you travelled a little bit then?
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
So how far have you come today?
So it's about an hour's drive.
Witt Rebels are in the early stages of their music career, but this place has seen the likes of Joe Cocker, Ian Dury and Franz Ferdinand on their way to the top. You guys are on tour at the moment, you've been playing around Europe, around the UK, so how important are small venues to you?
Massively, yeah. I mean, you'd play to your friends, and then when your friends had gone or the phase had went, you'd have to earn fans, and you have to do it the old-fashioned way, and there's no better way than going to the small venues around the country and doing it that way. Without that, we wouldn't be here where we are.
Great to see live music in a small venue, but there is a problem: the noise. Where we are is in the nightlife heart of Bristol. Not the most obvious place to build new homes, but that's exactly what's planned 100 metres across the harbour. Redcliffe Wharf describes itself as an exciting, vibrant hub of offices, cafes, restaurants, retail and 35 apartments, all of which will want peace and quiet. So this is where the development's going to be. I can hear a little bit of the band in Thekla. I can imagine it can get louder at times as well. How much of a threat really is this to Thekla?
Well, tonight we've got a live gig on which doesn't output as much sound as a club night. Also, when there is a club night, you factor in people out on the smoking deck and in the queue. Some of the crowd noise can really push up the decibels.
Thekla's worry is that the developer doesn't soundproof its flats. Then, if the new residents complain to the council about noise, it'll be Thekla's responsibility to deal with it.
Welcome to the Mouse Outfit Christmas party, Bristol Leg. We've got a whole ton of vibes. Here we are.
A short walk away is The Fleece, where a hip-hop act from Manchester called the Mouse Outfit are playing.
We put a shred on you through lyricism, twisted decibels of alchemy and mysticism. You're getting ahead of a defect upon the television.
Like Thekla, The Fleece is a Bristol institution for grassroots music. But also like Thekla, it's under threat from developers.
Well, up until 2013, we didn't have any issues. Then I saw the notice on the lamppost outside about the proposed flats to be built. This was 4 years ago, and that's when the problem started.
Chris discovered that the office block opposite The Fleece was to be turned into flats, with bedrooms barely 20 metres from the stage. If anyone complained about the noise from his venue in the future, it would be Chris's responsibility to fix it.
As it stands, so far we've not actually had any noise complaints, but they've only actually moved in about 2 weeks ago. So 4 years of fighting planners and developers and builders, you know, and now we're actually up against residents. So we're kind of at the point now where we're going to wait and see what happens, really.
I've been lent the keys to one of the flats so I can see for myself what the noise is like. Wow, it is actually pretty loud right here. Not just from the band, but the people outside as well making quite a lot of noise. As much as I love being inside a really loud gig, I don't think I'd like to live right here.
You know what? Let them know. I'm gonna make it real funky for you and get the party people rocking in a positive mood. If you were down in the dumps thinking what is the use?
According to one recent survey, half of all Bristol venues have had problems with housing developments. Not good news for an industry which earns the city's economy more than £100 million a year and employs nearly 1,000 people.
Yes, Bristol, what you saying? You good?
The more animated you can have it, the more creative it is, the more attractive it is for good people to come and live here. That's
Back on Thekla, a crisis meeting has been called to discuss what's next. One solution is a new law called Agent of Change, which puts the onus on the developer to soundproof properties, rather than making it the venue's problem.
If developments go up, alongside a long-standing venue, then we expect our weight of responsibility to be towards the venue to make sure we get that balance right of bringing forward the whole city for development in terms of with housing, but also protecting what Bristol is and its cultural offer.
But one of the city's most famous sons reckons the Bristol music scene isn't worth protecting.
There's never been a music scene in Bristol. That's all hype. That's just all hype. There ain't Bristol ain't this magical musical place. That's just not how it is. That's just what people write about Bristol. It's all like a fairy tale. If Bristol was so good, I would have got my record deal there. I'd still be living there.
Tricky believes Bristol isn't very good at nurturing new talent.
There's some great musicians in Bristol, and there's some great singers and vocalists, but no one knows who they are. If it was such a big musical scene, where's all these other Massive Attacks? Where's all these other bands?
And he asks whether the money generated by live music in Bristol benefits everyone.
This 100 million ain't going into any of the ghettos in Bristol, right? None of the ghettos are changing. So if all the clubs shut down, it ain't gonna affect people where I come from, because there ain't nothing where I come from anyway.
Whether or not Bristol's able to secure the future of its grassroots music scene depends on whether it sees itself as a city of culture.
As someone who spends a lot of time at gigs, I hope they get it right.
Once the plug is pulled on live music, it'll be hard to put back.